No, ever since I got involved in numismatics over 4 decades ago, 5 decades, wow, I've always been attracted to the paper money. Paper money are bigger, interesting, and you know, they have personalities.
So Don, I always mean to stop by your booth and talk to you about currency, because you always have currency at the booth and you always have amazing coins, and so I don't give currency enough credit. But you pulled out a grouping of about 6 or 8 notes that I'm sure this is about $120,000 worth of notes.
Probably a little bit more than that.
So what did you pull for me today?
So I've always worked with my clients with buying personality notes. And they have a story, or they're interesting because of the beautiful artwork and motif and stories. So I love handling these personality notes. Over time, they've been some of the best performers for appreciation, but that's because there's always demand for them. You can put sets of these personality notes together for a reasonable amount of money. What I have here today is something that we
these
like
are museum quality.
Yeah, we like to deal with the higher quality pieces, but that doesn't mean we don't handle the lower ones too. It's just for the show and coming out here. I mean, you can go to coin shops and they often have this type of currency. These are the popular notes that typically people want to own for various reasons.
And we call them personality notes because unlike maybe some national bank notes that are specific to a regional or local bank, these have beautiful engravings and more universal themes.
Exactly. For instance, here's a theme, and 2 of the most popular notes is the Indian and bison note, right? It's kind of a Western kind of theme or whatever. But here you have a chief, they call him Chief One Papa, but it's actually Chief Running Antelope of the Sioux Indian Onapapa tribe. But it has this personality of a big chief with a bonnet and whatever, and it's attractive to people, as well as a note like this, a bison note. I mean, just larger than life type of images, beautiful engraving, and popular because, hey, when somebody says, do you have a bison note, rather than a 1901 legal tender note. So that's what we're talking about, personality.
And for how long did these 2 notes circulate?
You know, typically they've circulated for a decade or so until they change the type or the images, some a little bit longer than others. So there's enough of them around to satisfy the demand in most conditions, but of course, when you get at the top end, some of the finest, like this one, is an average grade, really, a VF 30, but the Indian note is a 67. So when you get into the really high grade, they're harder to find, but again, they're not that rare. They're just very much in demand and popular because of their personality.
You know, another one of my favorite series is actually the educational notes.
You know, it's my favorite too. And I'll tell you, because of the history, I love the history, and it's a beautiful, beautiful design. And they have these allegories. This is, for instance, a symbol of history instructing youth, with Washington, D.C. in the background, and the Constitution, and the names of people who up to that time has been important in America's, our nation's history. Not just politicians, but we have inventors, we have authors, we have politicians, all their names around here. So a young person can learn about our country and what's important to our country up to that time. And then we have Martha and George on the back of the $1 bill. And on the $2 bill, the allegory is science presenting steam and electricity to manufacture and commerce. Remember, this is 1896. This is industrial revolution has already flourished. We're a country that is making manufacturing and making things, and this is really important. We have the theme here of a country at work. And then we have the $5 educational notes, science as the most important new thing in America, and how important it was in 1896. Electricity, as a part of what was going on in our nation and how important that is. So these are the themes that were important in our nation at the time. They're educational and gorgeous images.
These are very masterful engraving.
They are. They're beautiful. Then we have notes that, because of the way they look, make them interesting. So take a look at this $5 silver certificate. We call it the Lincoln porthole because it looks like he's looking through a porthole. So this is very much in demand. And this one's called the tombstone note because it looks like he's framed in a tombstone, This note has a personality because of its beautiful colors. And we call this legal tender note, we call it the rainbow note. And there's a series of denominational series that you can collect. The $2 bill being one of the more scarcer notes. Speaking of $2 bills, we do have a national banknote. You mentioned that earlier, but this one has the extra personality of what we call the Lazy Deuce. It's a $2 bill that, in order to get the 2 on there, they did it horizontally, and we call it the Lazy Deuce because it's laying down.
Yeah, so if you turn the note, you can see it.
Yeah, see? This way.
Right.
So that's what we mean by personalities. There's a number of them. It's fun to collect. They're interesting, and they're available. Even at your local coin shop, there'll be some of these, most likely, some of these notes available. So go out and get them and enjoy the image and the history and the story and the personality.